This is the riser she saved. And she has laid it on this board. I don't think she's got it lined up yet. It's not drawn out. But this board is one of the ones she was talking about being salvaged from our friend's rebuild. The ends may not be in fantastic shape, but the middle is still solid, and she's got 4 of them, 4 full boards and some pieces. So even if she has to cut out of the middle, she should have plenty, all things being equal and if everything goes well. Okay.
All right. So, another day in hell. And by hell, I mean Arkansas, not our place. Our place is wonderful. Our place is a little blue oasis in the middle of a dark red blob of hate. There you go.
Those were staples she was taking out, by the way.
Because when we did Shannon's wedding last year, we needed a great big table. And so I wound up making this into a great big table with these
Sawhorses.
sawhorses.
Right.
And I just put 4 of these on there. Okay, so I'm trying to use, and you can see why we had to change this out.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
literally,
is rotten.
I can rip that apart with my
Oh,
hands.
yay, lovely.
Okay, so I'm trying to use this as a template because why didn't I do this a long time ago? Because it should have been done a long time ago. Cutting risers is outside my wheelhouse, man. I do not like to cut risers. In fact, I was telling Lynn this morning, she said I should tell you, when I've had to do staircases before, I've either bought the risers, like for that short little span there that I did.
Yeah.
I've either bought them or I've made stairs by putting up the 2x12 and then putting 2x4s on it and putting the risers on the steps on top of that. But I want a real staircase and real risers. So I'm trying to use what was left from that. The problem being that it's a slab, which means it's not as wide there as it is here. So what I did was I measured the 9 inches that the steps are out to the edge.
Out to the edge.
And then I marked it. And up here, I noticed that this one was cut deeper. So I basically basically just marked it where the 9-inch was, and I'm going to try. So it's a whole lot of hanging on to my ass and hoping. And what I'll do is I'll finish the stairs out and make the marks with this square. So I'm done with this, at least for now. So I'm going to put it aside.
Yeah, just in case.
This one's a total. But here's what will happen. You have to use the resources you have.
Right.
And what I know is, my son, the genius, he has no problem at all doing the geometry it takes to cut risers. So if I can't do them, I will call my son.
Did you mark the top of that?
Yes, it's kind of weird, so.
Okay, but you did mark it.
Yes,
Okay,
because
okay.
it gets an angle here and there.
Okay.
And then the thing's got to come out.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the square to finish up the stairs where there was no stair. Because again, slab.
Right.
So slab means it was rounded on the outside edge. So, and we're just going to do a whole lot of hoping today.
So you're going to mark and cut this one and then see what you have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna do
hopefully
the-
just cut 2 more.
I'm going to mark this one. I'm going to take it over there. I'm going to try to get it right. That may mean, and I'll tell you if I have to do it, that may mean that I have to do a whole lot of recutting. You know, cut it and then cut it again because, you know, I'm trying to make it fit. And again, not in my wheelhouse. So, yes, some of you are going to say, why don't you just have your son come and do it? You know why? Because he's busy. He works a job. He comes home, he has his own farm. And let me tell you something, one of the reasons things don't get done here faster is before I could do any of this, I had to get the barn ready to put hay into.
Because you've cut it and it's drying
Because
in
I
your...
cut the hay and the hay is drying now. I had to get the barn ready to cut hay into. And I had to water my freaking garden. So all of that stuff you do winds up taking time away from your little projects, no matter how badly they need to get done. And like I said, before we have a bunch of people running over that damn staircase, this has to get done. Last time we had a bunch of people here, I like to shit myself every time I watch somebody that weighed more than 200 pounds go up that staircase.
Because it bowed with every step.
Well, and I had it jerry-rigged so that it wasn't going to break. But there's always that little bit of panic because it only takes one mistake.
Right.
It only takes one person stepping in the wrong. That's the thing. Okay, so I could have walked on the damn thing for another year.
So could I, and I'm not a lightweight.
I will walk on the outside.
Yeah, me too.
Against where the wood is. But other people not so much. Other people don't understand the mechanics of the things they walk on every day.
Right. Right.
So there you go.
Okay.
All right, so that's it for now. I'm getting ready to.
Put things together. Okay.
All right, so basically got this done. Not loving this.
No.
I've got a piece in the middle that's not any good.
Lovely.
So I may have done all this work, and now I have to go get another board. But what I may do is take this over and template it anyway.
Yeah.
Make it work, then use it to cut the next
The others,
one.
yes.
But yeah, this was a little disgusting because I purposely, but there's a weak spot in the
the middle.
So
you
let's
cut
hope
with-
I'm going to
you-
be able to find anything in this pile of crap that's actually going to be good.
You used your skill
so
saw?
I used my skill saw. Well, don't call it a skill saw. It's actually a circular saw.
I apologize, you're correct.
I haven't been-
That's a brand.
Yeah, it is a skill, but it's a circular saw.
Yeah.
Okay, I used it to cut all the way down
As far as you could.
as far as I could. And then, now, what I could do is turn it over, and cut through again with the skill saw. But it's so little, and since I'm probably going to thrash this anyway, I'm just going to use my jigsaw to cut it out. First, I have to put a battery in it.
Oh, you mean it needs to have
Surprisingly, it
power?
won't work without a battery.
But it works really well with a battery.
Yep.
Do you need me to hold the board again? I guess that's a no.
Yeah, my biggest problem might be finding a board that's actually good enough to make. Because even though they're in good shape, that crack, a crack right where I don't need it to have a crack. So there's that. And that's what happens
You used stuff, yeah.
when you use used stuff. You're going to want to end up with. You know, but as I always say, poor folks have poor ways. Now I'm going to cart this over and see if it'll work. And I'll just be really careful in picking the rest of these boards to make sure I don't have something that even looks like it might be a problem, because it did not look like it would be a problem on this side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, I had looked on both sides and I saw that crack. I flipped it over Well, there was no visible crack on this side, so I thought, oh, it's just a surface crack. But no, it's not.
No,
See,
it's
because
not.
that's
wobbly.
And I'm not using that. But I will use it
For a template,
for
if
a
it works.
template to
Yep.
see if I've got.
Okay, I'm going to turn off, or should I not?
Yeah, you can turn off.
Okay.
I'm gonna restart it if you want.
Okay.
Does that look about right? I mean, down there, baby. Look down there.
That looks good. Do you want it to come all the way out to the side, or?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
have to.
it doesn't.
You know
Doesn't.
what I didn't bring my freaking pencil.
Of course you didn't. I will go get it. I'll turn off. And you're on.
If I put a bracket on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to push this up till the step is level, because
Right.
that's what we really care about. Okay. I'm going to. Some asshole can't get. How is it setting down there?
It's
Is it
looking
setting
still looking
flat?
good. It's setting flat. Yes.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Not really. Not hold all of it at once. Yep, I got it. All right. Okay. We have a good template. We just don't have a runner yet.
Yeah.
So we need to cut some runners. And I was saying, you know, since I'm putting one in the middle, I may have some large flat brackets. And since this isn't all the way through on this side, I may put those large flat black brackets on the couple that are loose, because they won't matter, because the way it'll be pressing down. When I put this one in the middle.
Yeah, it's
it
the
won't
down
really
pressure that
matter.
matters, and you're gonna put drain oil on them anyway. So
Well, I'll tell them about that later.
Yeah, let her be-
I'm getting ready to spray
oh, that's right.
this part of it. I'm gonna spray with that shit. Another product endorsement.
Yeah,
Why am I
that
not being
shit.
given money?
Yeah, that shit. We'll see it here. Okay, I'll shut off. Okay.
Okay, so I've decided to go ahead and use this in the middle. I've got some brackets I'm gonna go get out of my shop, and I'm gonna put them over that and screw them down with smaller screws. Since it's gonna be in the middle and the weight goes this way,
It should be fine.
not this way,
Right. Right.
it should be fine.
Right.
I am not going to do that with the other ones. If I have to cut 6 of them to find a good one, I'm not putting the chicken shit ones on the edge.
Right.
This is literally overkill
Right.
to put one in the middle,
Right.
but that's who I am.
Well, just extra safety.
Extra safety and extra not worrying about every time somebody gets on it, watching it do that.
Exactly.
I
Okay.
don't- When I get done, I want you to be able to, I want a 400-pound person to be able to walk across it
With
and
safety.
not have it bow in the middle.
Exactly. Okay.
That's my big plan.
All right. Going away. Okay, this is the smoking area over here at the venue. She's made a little sheltered place in case it's raining, and there's a picnic table, and it's right here by the chickens so you can enjoy nature. And what'd you do the other day?
I built this. Okay, so a couple of years ago we took all the toilets out of the temple, and then I hauled them off to keep the temple from having to pay to have them hauled off. So I hauled off all the temple's toilets. Well, at some point I had taken the bolt out of here to use it. So since I'm going to use it as a pot, I just put a regular bolt in there because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
I'm going to fill this. I'll put a piece of plastic or something over that hole, or a rock or something, and I'll fill this with dirt, and I'll make a planter. But that's for your butts. It's not an original idea. I've seen it before.
Yes.
But eventually we'll paint a sign here that says "butts" here, pointing down. So
That'll be hilarious.
it's not original. But there you go.
But it's very clever.
Some of you may not have seen it, so
Yeah.
there you go.
And a great way to recycle an
And
oil
it's a great
toilet.
way to recycle, and it'll actually make a very attractive planter.
Yes, it
so,
will. It'll make a beautiful planter. So,
Yeah. And a good place for people to stick their
but
butts.
yep. Yes. Hello. We hear you. Okay, we're on.
Okay, so here's what happens. Remember all those pallets I took apart for wood? Well, I stacked them on these.
Of course you did.
Now I've decided that probably the ones that are in here are better than the ones that are out there.
Uh-huh.
Because they're shorter. But I've got to dig through not only all of them, but these. Because these, and you can see I had stuff to keep them from being wet.
Yes.
These will be the, some of these will make steps.
Make risers for the steps, some will, yeah.
Let me see, maybe I'll dig it down and I'll go, no, these aren't as good as what we've got.
Oh, that would be lovely.
That would be better. That would mean I didn't have to move the giant pile. All of that came out of those pallets.
I know that's a lot of wood.
Plus there's the whole shop, but that entire stack that's on top of there, 2x4, all of that came out of the pallets. All of this came out of the pallets, and my freaking blacksmith shop is stuffed full of wood that I tore out of the pallets. I don't know if they're worth getting at. Who knows? If I dig through that pile and these are worse than those. Well, let's go ahead and see what we got there. You know what? You will do that, right? You'll look at something and you'll be like, oh yeah, and then you're like, oh, that's not going to be as easy as I thought. Let's go see how these are. Let's dig through these and see if we have any better ones.
Because they're easier to get to.
Plus, they're much easier to get to. Some asshole didn't stack a bunch of wood on top of them, knowing that they were going to get used. Some asshole stacked a bunch of fucking wood on top of them. I blame Lynn.
Yes, of course you do, and that's fine.
That's fine. She says that in front of you.
I'm used to it. I just, no, it's not my fault. You can blame me all you want.
Shit, stuff that is her fault ain't her fault.
No, of course not. Why should I take credit?
I know, right? All right, so let's see what we've got. Okay, so there's 3 more of these out here.
Which is more than enough.
More than enough if there's one good one.
Right.
This, I don't need anymore, which is good. Did you see that?
Yes, it went to pieces.
Well, it didn't go to pieces, but the end broke off.
Yeah, the end broke off. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it needed to be changed. Oh, don't say you would have changed it a long time ago. Who the hell do you think you're kidding? Yeah, well, I would have done it a long time ago. Yeah, I love when people say shit like that.
Yeah, when you were doing what? What would you would have done with all the other things you were doing? Yeah.
Now I put them there. I put those like that to keep it from holding moisture.
Okay.
So that they would. I think this one is warped. Yes, this one's warped all to shit. This one looks like a dog time leg.
So it would make good risers, but not a good.
It'll make good steps.
Yeah, that's what I
But
meant.
it's, this one looks pretty good. This one actually looks really good. Can you kick that off my lower leg?
Yes.
Just flip it back. Yeah, these are heavy as shit, in case you were wondering.
And I'm backing up out of the way. You need me to slide that?
I'm old, so.
Whoa, it's gonna fall. I don't want it to fall.
All right. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Of course, the other one looked pretty good
until you looked at it, started cutting. Okay.
It's gonna have to come out of that end, because see, there's a big crack.
There's a big crack right there.
So it's got to come out of that
end. Okay. Well, I'll go away for now.
Yep. All right, so spray can rubber. Flex Seal, not a product endorsement, just what I'm using, because that's what I have. I've also in the past used pruning stuff, because it's spray tar, but this is spray rubber, so it would be even better. What I'm going to do is, all the parts that I just cut, which are the most vulnerable to rot and water, I'm spraying now with Flex Seal. And I'm spraying it on this side, because this side is the side that's going inside.
Oh, and so
Hopefully won't, in fact I'm going to put an R on there so we know it goes on the right side. because so that it hopefully doesn't show. But this way, it should be really protected. And it should not. And see, simple. I like stuff that's effective and easy.
You said you sometimes use pruning.
I sometimes use pruning spray because pruning spray is liquid tar.
You missed a spot up here on this second riser.
She loves to do that. Where? Right there.
Right there.
That's her favorite thing.
Oh, I didn't want to tell you after you put it away.
I'm also getting some of the minor cracks.
Just to be sure.
Yep, just to be sure. Well, that's a place that the water could seep in, and since this is the inside, it's not going to show. I'm going to do the whole underneath side because it gets splashed back and everything. And again, it's not going to show.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sounds
So
great.
that's one down. Now I got. So when you get done, most people know this, and if you don't, it does say it on the can. But to clean the nozzle, you turn it upside down till it sprays clear.
Till it sprays clear.
And then that clears the
That
nozzle.
clears
But
the nozzle.
especially with spray rubber or tar or something, you want to do that. Also, it doesn't hurt to go ahead with something like this that's so thick and wipe that.
To make sure the nozzle keeps working.
Well, hopefully it keeps
Hopefully it
working.
keeps
Nothing
working.
is 100%.
Yep. You do that even on spray
This
paint
shit
and
is
stuff.
too expensive to not use the entire can.
Exactly.
I think it's like $15 a can.
Ouch.
But if it keeps you, like Len was saying, it's a lot less expensive than wood.
Yep, exactly.
So, okay, so we've marked this and now we're going to cut it.
Okay, I will hold the board.
Good.
Okay, so you saw Selina paint the tar stuff on, or the rubber stuff on parts of the risers. We put one in to make sure we weren't going crazy, and we aren't. It fit really well. And then you'll notice the plastic bag under there. That's because we didn't want to get any of the creosote on the new concrete. But I went ahead and painted creosote, actual creosote, where there wasn't tar. And it's completely covered now. And then I went ahead and did the ones we haven't put up yet. Both sides. They're over here. And you didn't see her do it, but Selina, there's another big piece of equipment that's noisy. Selina also painted the sealant on the edges of what are going to be the steps, and then I did both sides in the creosote. So all of those risers are sitting here, the risers and the steps are sitting here drying while she literally brings in the hay.